New year, new intro. Hello world, my name is Matt Spa and I'm a photographer and videographer in Atlanta, Georgia. My favorite color is 18% gray. I can't believe it's February of 2021 and I'm just now getting around to publishing my first video of the year. The last quarter of 2020 was pleasantly busy compared to the previous 9 months of that year. And in that time I produced a number of projects and I realized that my current camera rig was lacking in a couple of ways. And that overall some of my solutions could probably be executed in a more elegant way. So in this video, I'm going to give you a little tour of the changes that I've made and the equipment that I've added. If you want to see the original rig overview, you can watch it here, and I'll put a link to it in the description below. Before we get started, my channel is about all things audio, video, and photo related. If you like that kind of stuff, please consider subscribing. There have been 4 major additions to this rig. First is the teleprompter, which is conspicuously absent in this shot because I'm using it to make this video, so I'll cue some fancy B-roll. Pretty much all of my commercial clients, when given the option, will choose to have a teleprompter on set. Mine is the Caddy Buddy teleprompter, and I did a comparison of this unit versus the Glide Gear TMP100 in a previous video if you want to learn more about it. 3 things that I love about this teleprompter. 1, it adapts easily to a 15mm rail mount system. 2, it has a generous tray for your tablet. And lastly, it travels easily. The only real issue I've had with mine is that when mounted to my rail system, the camera lens ended up being low in the window. Fortunately, the next addition I've made to the rig solved that problem beautifully, and more about that later. That second addition is the Zoom F6 audio recorder. I don't particularly like the phrase game changer as it's generally overused in my opinion, but I can say the technology in this tiny little box is a game changer if ever there was one. Last year I produced a Christmas program that required me to capture multiple channels of audio. I used an outboard audio interface and I recorded everything in Logic Pro. It worked fine. I've used that system for years, but it's a cumbersome setup and dealing with the wide range of audio input levels can be distracting to say the least. So I went looking for possible alternatives and I found the Zoom F6. I'm not going to go into all the incredible things that this tiny box can do. There are many competent reviews and overviews out there that can tell you the specifics, but the highlights are it allows for 6 channels of audio input. It has an internal recorder. It has multiple powering options, and it can not only work as a standalone unit, but it works as an audio interface when connected directly to your computer via USB-C. After 1 week with this unit, I gladly said goodbye to my PreSonus Quantum. All that stuff is amazing, but the thing that makes it a game changer is the fact that it has dual analog to digital converters, which means that it will record loud sounds and soft sounds without you having to set the preamp gain. It's called 32-bit float recording, and it will blow your mind if you've ever spent time babysitting the gain on a microphone preamp for an entire session. If you're ready to move to an external recorder or upgrade your current setup, you owe it to yourself to check this thing out. As much as I gush when I'm talking about the F6, it has 2 problems. 1, if you want to run audio out of your F6 into your camera, you may encounter an issue. The F6 puts out a line level signal, and if your camera only has a microphone input, that line level signal is going to be too strong for your camera to accept. This can be easily remedied by using an attenuator cable. The cable reduces the signal by 35 dB, giving your camera a signal that it can handle. Mine is the Movo MVRC100, and I'll put a link to it in the description below. The other issue is the mounting options. It has 1/4 20 tap on the bottom and this spider-legged kind of thing that screws onto the top, also with just 1/4 20 connection. This kind of works okay if you're just putting a camera on top, but once all that weight starts relying on the single quarter 20 screw on the bottom, things can get kind of squirrely. I tried it on several shoots and became so preoccupied with the fear that my camera was going to hit the floor that I had to find a more solid solution. I couldn't find anyone who had addressed this issue, so I started making prototypes for a cage that would keep the F6 from having to support any weight on its own. This is prototype number 6 or 7, and it's getting there. It uses a couple of custom-made aluminum plates. The bottom one screws directly onto my rail system, and the upper one has a quick release plate that allows me to remove the camera if needed, at which point I can actually remove the F6 altogether and attach the camera directly to the tripod without needing any tools. I guess this will go through a couple more design revisions, but once I get something that works, I'll make a video showing how to build whatever I finally end up with. Back to the teleprompter. I mentioned the height issue that I was having. The current iteration of the F6 cage solves that problem by moving the camera up so that the lens is in a position where it is more centered behind the teleprompter glass. So, win-win. The next thing I've added is a 2-channel wireless audio system. This is the Hollyland Lark 150. I looked at offerings from Synco, I looked at the Rode Wireless Go system and a couple of others, and for me this was not only the most elegant setup for 2-channel audio, but one of the best values when you look at all that is included in the kit. Again, there are a ton of competent reviews on this system on YouTube. Check those out if you want to know specs and learn more. Highlights for me personally are that it is a 2-channel system with multiple routing options. The case is robust and it serves as a charging hub, and the audio quality is excellent. A quick mention here about all these systems. Most reviews that I saw use the included microphones. This one comes with a pair of lav mics. I kind of think of those mics like I think about a kit lens that might come with a camera body. The included mics are decent and they will get you up and running, but it's unreasonable to expect super high quality performance from them. What I bought was an excellent transmitter system. To get higher quality audio, you need to spend some money to get a high quality microphone, but that's just my 2 cents. The Lark 150 has an audio output that I feed into my Zoom F6 recorder using a splitter cable. The splitter takes the 3.5mm stereo output and it splits it into 2 male XLR connectors that allow me to put each microphone on its own channel in the recorder. If I'm not using the audio recorder, I can go straight to the camera with a single 3.5mm stereo cable. In this setup, I still have the output routed to send each microphone to its own channel, so they end up separated when I import my footage into Final Cut Pro. The last addition to this rig, for now anyway, is the Tilta Mini Matte Box. I purchased this particular model thinking that I could mount it to my rail system, but sadly that didn't work because of the distance from the rails in this configuration. It's not a huge deal. The Tilta comes with a range of step rings that allow me to adapt the matte box to any of my lenses. Some people have complained that they can't use variable neutral density filters with this matte box. I use the Moment variable ND, and it is an issue because of the size of the adjustment ring. In cases where I need to use an ND with the matte box, I use standard fixed value filters, and with the use of step rings, I have no issues getting circular polarizers or fixed NDs or even my 77mm black Pro Mist to work fine with this matte box. Upsides to the unit include the size and the weight, of course, and as any good content creator will tell you, they just look cool. As frustrating as it can be to sort through the multitude of components that are out there, it's really rewarding when you land on that configuration that works well. This may not seem simple, but everything here is in place to simplify the technical side of the process so that I can focus my attention, my energy on the creative side of what I do. I'm sure this rig, like all other aspects of my work, will continue to evolve. So like, comment, subscribe, and tell 2 friends. And I'll do my best to keep all of you updated as the evolution takes place. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.